Hello, my name is Kevin and I am with Veilux, and today we're going to talk about the explosion-proof camera SVEX-W125-W, which means the -W is with the wiper. We're also going to talk about a lens that requires a telemetry, which is the SVL-M20X1020. And then we're going to talk about the functions and what is a telemetric system in the explosion-proof system, which is a SVEX-2028E. And then towards the end of it, we will actually show you in the explosion-proof, we will actually show you some pictures of the wiring diagram, and then physically talk about the wiring diagram and everything on an on-live video at the end of this program. First thing is we're going to talk about the SVEX-W125-W wiper, or with the wiper is what the -W means. It is ATEX certified. It is T6, stainless steel material, integrated pan tilt camera with housing, equipped with sun shield, auto heating system, and wiper optional. It's 220 VAC or 24-volt power input, 360 degrees pan rotation, and 45-degree 90 optional tilt rotation. It's IP68 certified. It operates between 25 to 60 Celsius operation temperature. The SVEX-W125 standard size lens is 45-degree tilt. The SVEX-W125-W, which means with wiper, the standard size lens with wiper is 45 degrees tilt. Note that the SVEX-W125 is a mechanism structured without electronical parts. It must work with additional telemetry receiver board, which we will go into detailed depth later on in this program. Next, we're going to talk about the SVL-M20X1020D. It's got a focus length of 10 to 200 millimeters. Mount is CS. Format is 3/4. Horizon field is 26 degrees by 36 or by 30 degrees, or 1 by 20. The dimensions is 79 by 92 by 171. It has a motorized focus, a motorized zoom, and an iris DC. This unit must require a telemetry system in order to do the zoom or the zoom in and out and the focus, which we will go in depth in details on the next screen. Here is where we have the SVEX-2020XE. It is ATX certified, T6 stainless steel material, 6 cable outlets. It's IP66, G3/4 thread connection, suitable for different electronic devices such as power board, optical fiber transmission, receiver, web server, decoding, receivers, and more. Weight is 52 pounds, and then we've got the inner size in millimeters below. Now, on this box, what does this box actually contain with our telemetry installed? It is a microcontrolled 11 standard functions for the control of pan tilt motors and zoom lens, 1 function for the control of auxiliary service, dry contacts. Auxiliary can be used for the wiper operations, 99 identification addresses selected by dip switches. But you must 1 telemetry per camera. You cannot have more than 1 camera hooked up to the same telemetry, due to the telemetry has its own ID. So if you have 2 cameras, you're going to have 2 telemetries, because one telemetry is going to be ID 1, the second telemetry is going to have its ID as 2 to tell the camera. Now the outdoor temperature is 20 to 50 Celsius degrees. Outside of the explosion-proof housing, certification is EN 60065, EN 55022, Class B, EN 50130-4, it's FCCC Part 15 Class B, IP 56, and as I state, this is the telemetry board outside of the explosion proof is 56, and then it's EN 60529, and it's available in 24 volts or 230 volts depending on the country you live in, depending on the wattage you may need in your country. Now, the installation layout, as I said, you have one telemetry per camera. So if you have 2 cameras, you're going to need 2 telemetries, and then it goes to the keyboard. Now, this right here is a picture, a close-up picture of the telemetry. This is switch 1 and switch 2. With a Veilux keyboard installed on the unit, you're going to need, on switch 1, dip switch 1 and 2 down, dip switch 3 up, dip switch 4 down. This will set the unit automatically default to Pelco D 2400. You must run it at 2400 baud rate on a on a Veilux keyboard. This right here, the second setting, will be for the ID setting. Right here, the ID setting right here is 1. You turn it on ID, the Veilux keyboard IDs will be off by 1. You can switch this down to 0, and it will label it ID 0, and you can access the camera by hitting 1 cam on a Veilux keyboard only. Other keyboards may not recognize it when there is a 0, or when this may be marked as 0, but on a Veilux keyboard it can. On all other keyboards you may want to leave this as 1. Over here, dip switch number 8 must be turned off in order for the wiper to work, and this is only for the units that have a wiper. If this is turned on, the wiper function will not work with the Veilux keyboard. Okay, now here we've got a little drawing here, and we've got blue, green, black and brown, yellow and blue. Okay, the yellow one is for down, and this is on the top part. The blue thick wire is for right, and you've got as I said, once again, the yellow thick wire is also for down. The next section, okay, we've got a thin blue wire, which is going to be for the switch, and then we've also got another green thin wire, which is also for the switch. And then also, where you see where my hand's in the way, there's actually a small little black sleeve that the green, the blue, the red and brown all come out of, and they are going to be part of the blower and the heater. The ones that are not in the plastic sleeve, which I will show you later in the PowerPoint when we get to the telemetry, I'll show you what I'm talking about on this. But the top one must be blue. If you vice versa these, the wiper will be on at all times. So the top will be blue for the wiper. You will have your ground green for voltage, and then right here you will have your black and a brown, the small brown one from the power for the heater inside of the unit. Next, here's the bottom half of the camera that we're looking at now. We've got the green one, which is for the wiper switch. We've got red and white for power for the camera. We've also got a red one coming here, which we've got labeled on another one. We've got common, which is gray and brown. You've got a thick gray and thin brown as the common, and then we've got the focus as green. Okay, here's where we missed the red one. The thick red one is for up control. The thin blue wire is for the zoom. Please note, for the zoom and focus, you only need the positive installed. There is not a negative that needs to be installed. So when you do hook up the camera, you will need to hook up the green and the blue positive only. You will not need to install the negatives. This will control the zoom in and the zoom out and the focus automatically. Here we have the SVEX-W125-W, which means with wiper. On the side of the camera, we can plainly see that there is a wiring diagram that says focus is green, zoom is blue, common is brown, the power for the wiper is red and brown, and the power switch is green and blue. Up is red, down is yellow, left is green, right is blue, gray is common, which we also seen on the wiring diagram earlier today. And now we notice 24 volts is on this one. This is for the European versions. The US versions would actually be 24 volts. Now in order to access this cam, we would need to hit one cam because we've got the ID set to 0. And this would only be with a Veilux unit. On a non-Veilux keyboard, you may want to set an ID in order to control the camera. Please note that the explosion proofs are not an extremely fast camera. They are fairly slow because they are explosion proof due to hazard materials, cleaning rooms, oil rigs and everything for them to be explosion proof, so therefore they don't get damaged. They're not that fast, and also they're made out of a lot of metal. Okay, in order to go up, down, left, and right for this explosion proof camera, you have to have a certain item called a telemetry switch. The telemetry switch is this device here, and as you can see right now when we move the camera that we're on, because they are right now linked together, but it will not control it because the ID is set in here. Now, if you see a light on your unit, that means the unit is getting a signal, but we still have to have the right protocol, the right baud rate and everything. And as I said, we have to have the switch 1, 2, down, 3 up, 4 down for the item to be set to Pelco D 2400 baud rate. On the European versions, this will only be on the European versions 230. You will see this white connector with the cord going here. I've got it taped up to here because I had so many wires going into the 220. From here I've got a jumper that goes into the power only, the white and the black. Okay, this is what a lot of people may want to do because these two white wires are very thick. So then you would want to wire your brown and your red for the camera, which is 24 volts, and then have 2 more wires jumping here since these wires are so thick. Now let me see if I can get our camera to scan in closely on this telemetry system where we can read all of the stuff that's on here. Okay, as I was talking to you earlier today, you will see this black sleeve with 4 wires coming out on a unit with wipers only. In these 4 sleeves you've got a red, green, blue, and brown. This is for the wiper, okay? And then the wiper switch is going to be the first 2, green being top, blue being bottom. And then over here you're going to have the white and black as the 220 power, and then you're going to have the brown and red, which I have tagged onto this one, jumping over here because this converts it to 12 volts here, going into the 220. But you have to have this white adapter over here that's plugged over here to change the 220 into 12 volts. Next, we have the up and down. Yellow is up, yellow is down, red is up, which is the next set. The fourth row, we're going to have thick, or the yellow and red was thick wires. The next row is going to be a thick blue one and a thick green one. Please note, the thin blue and thin green is for the wiper. The thick blue and the thick green, which is for left and right, are the thick wires. Next, we're going to have gray and brown, which is for common. The next one is going to be at the bottom for plus only, which is green for focus, blue for zoom. The next set of wires at the very end over here is RX485 A and B. This is where you're going to put in your RX or your RS485 connection into the RX. The next space, which we do not use on this one, is for transmission if you want to hook up more than one telemetry. You would run this TX to the next telemetry and the next telemetry if you're piggybacking. The next one is a ground, and the next one is TX232 and RX232, and you've got your grounds right beside it, and that is if you're hooking it up directly into a computer system and controlling the functions of it through a computer system, which we do not support at this time. You've also got another connections, which is the coax. These coax connection is not for video in and video out. This is another data transmission that we do not support at this time on the telemetry system. This is the SVEX-W125-W unit. And then we do have our extension here, another black wire that comes out for the coax, which is you'll have to have a balun to convert it over to a regular BNC connection, because it does come out in two wires, which is negative and plus on this. This is the collusion, and that's only for the SVEX-W125-W. Now, a lot of people will run into a problem with the wiper. Okay, on the wiper, you will need to go to the Veilux keyboard, which, let me see if I can bring up our keyboard over here. Okay, we will not be able to see the menu or the screen on here, but I'm going to read the screen. Okay, you're going to hit menu, and then you're going to hit the auto button down until you see AUX1 comes up on this screen. Then you're going to see number, and then it's going to say off. In order to turn on the wiper, you're going to hit F1. This will change from off to on, and then you will hit enter. This will turn on the wiper, and then you would hit F or off, enter, to stop the wiper. And also, you may need to hit clear right here, and be sure that when it says auxiliary 1, the number is set to 1. And then, as I said, hit 1 on, the wiper will come off, on, and then hit 2 off, and the wiper is stopped. Even though you are under the auxiliary menu, you still have full access to go backwards and forwards of the PTZ. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong PTZ right now, but I will get you over to our PTZ. Okay, we're under the auxiliary button. Let me I've got to change different cameras right now. Okay, now I've got full access of the camera, and then we go to menu, go all the way down to auxiliary 1. Hit F1 for on, enter. The wiper comes on. And as I state, you have full control of the PTZ while you're still in this motion. You can still hit F2, which would turn the wiper off, and hit enter to turn it off, and you still can control the PTZ while you're under or in the auxiliary. So therefore you can turn the wiper on and off as much as you want to, like you just saw me turn it on and off really quick, if it's just like misting and you do not need it on constantly. And this is how you work the W, or the SVEX-W125 with an SVEX-2028E telemetry system, how they are hooked up, and how you work the wiper also with the Veilux keyboard on turning it off and on. And this concludes our telemetry hookup and our diagrams and our information of all the units. Thank you very much for watching this presentation of the explosion, or the Veilux explosion proof program.